Hey Saber fans, got a lovely KR Sabers install here today. NeoPixel accent LED. This is all using FET 263's blade styles. Fantastic stuff.
They must be dead by now, destroying what's left of them.
Got that spark tip ignition. Blasters. Lock up. Responsive blade. Color changing on the fly. And it is set up with the, let's do a nice light blue. Oh, there we go. A lot of pre-ons and post-offs in that font.
Meet Obi-Wan Kenobi.
These switches are so touchy because these are just plungers going on a tactile. I'm barely pressing them. And this, it just alternates back and forth. It goes tip, and then this one will be bass and scrolls up with it. It's kind of hard to see it on video, but in person it's a lot more prominent. I bet you it'll be easier to see on red. Yeah. Nice. And this mimics the blade. This is essentially a crystal chamber blade style. So it just mimics it. It doesn't do any. No flashes, nothing. Just mimics. And whenever it's off, it kind of pulses a little bit. I know blue and green it changes, but I don't think red it does. Of course, that might also be because of the battery level indicator. So, for instance,
I have a bad feeling about this.
Here we have our battery level. Yeah, recharge port access on the bottom, 24mm bass speaker. Saber Essentials bass speaker. Save preset, save color.
I am ready to face the trials.
Master Qui-Gon.
I do really like the setup on this hilt. This is a standard 1-inch blade from the custom saber shop. I did have to sand it down quite a bit, about 1.5 inches up for it to fit. So, yeah, there's that. So I'm gonna move it up a little bit. Like, this is a really snug fit, even after sanding it. Like, I didn't even tighten the little 3mm retention screw there just because it's like, yeah. Board access is quite cool, actually. I like the board access on this. You unscrew the emitter. Here you have your NeoPixel.
Darkness.
You have your board. Oh, it does have twist activation and retraction. I love that feature. One thing I also did was, since the SD card's kind of a pain to get to, I made it to where you can just use a micro USB like this, nice right angle USB, to access the SD card as well. So that way you don't have to mess around with the SD card. Just whenever you do that, in case anybody else has that feature, make sure you eject your device like a typical SD card. So it just alternates blue, green, blue, green, blue, green until the color's changed. I think there's 15 fonts on here.
Light.
Responsive clash. Force effects. Music. I love the twist feature, that's so cool.
Goodbye, Chewbacca. Miss you, I will.
Like, retention screw isn't tightened down at all. It's really snug. Wonder if you can even see that on camera. It's a little bit of sanding here, but this blade's staying with me anyway, so.
All day now.
Another base flare. Let's just go ahead and set the colors. So this, since it's a Vader, it should totally be blue, right? Yeah, right. Nice red. Let's see, what font or what music? Oh yeah, I think he went, I think my client wanted the scene from Jedi Fallen Order for the music on this one. Whenever he's about to kill Trilla. Spoiler alert. Oh, blue works for this.
Greed can be a powerful ally.
Hero Pack, Qui-Gon, from Kyber Phonic. My client sent me a bunch of fonts, so honestly, unless I pulled it up on my computer, I would not be able to tell you which one's which. Just gonna go off the boot sounds.
That lightsaber was Luke's.
Oh, this definitely needs to be TFA blue, which I always thought was a darker. Well, TFA was like a slightly lighter blue, I believe. There we go. That's Kanan, Blind Cowboy. I think this is Peace. Yep, that was Peace.
I want that tricky sight.
Let's go darker blue. There we go.
Meet Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Of course, this. Actually, this is another Obi-Wan font. I know that. Let's go light blue with this one.
I'm ready to face the trials.
Another Obi-Wan.
Darkness.
Can't do good.
This definitely needs to be a red. That's more of an orange. Oh, there it is. There we go. Yeah. That's interesting. It's like it's pulsing back to, let's see if you can see this. Pulsing to a like a pale blue whenever it goes from red. Yeah, it's like that's pretty cool. I like how it does that. Good job, Fernando. Excellent. excellent blade profiles. Oh god, there's a lot of fonts on here from multiple vendors. I know there's some from Repulse, there's some from One Sith, there's some from Kyberphonic, K-Sith. There's a bunch of good ones on here. Yeah, this is a pretty sweet install. I'm not gonna lie, I like this hilt. And the bottom of the chassis is held in place with that retention screw. So this is locked in place unless you remove that retention screw, which I don't really recommend it. I'll probably lube these threads before I ship it off too, because this is kind of, there we go, a little finicky right now for my liking. So like I said, these are just plungers. Wouldn't recommend removing the chassis because it might interfere with these. These are Loctited in place because essentially it's just this going into a threaded screw, and then that's into a plastic plunger which hits the switch underneath, and got them dialed in perfectly. I do love the chassis access in this though. Up in the emitter, so cool. You can see the SD card's kind of a pain to get to. And there is a Bluetooth module in there as well. I'm not going to show that off right now. Some of them I could get to work, some of them I could not. I think that's one of the things that's still kind of finicky. And for the Profi, it's not that great anyways, if you ask me. You can't really change any of the features just yet. And plus I'd have to boot up my iPhone just to use it since it's not for Android yet. Regardless, it's a cool feature. Yeah, this is a nice hilt. Overall, really good grip. That emitter though, that is a beefy emitter. Look at that, Jesus. It's nice. Definitely not the best sound venting in the world, but still decent. Decent enough for a quiet room. If you tried to show this off at a Comic-Con, it wouldn't be loud at all. I mean, you can
This
tell.
is just the beginning.
With the pommel off, it's not bad. Pommel on, still not bad. It really depends on the font. I know some font makers make their fonts with a better swing sound.
This is just the beginning.
Greed can be.
Let's get back to font 1 for my client. Some font makers make their swings a little more aggressive, a little louder. I personally like them that way, because that's what you hear the most out of everything. But yeah, it's a nice hilt. Wanted to take a video before I shipped it back to my client, because it's a nice one. I love KR Sabers quality. Like, Jesus Christ. Pretty much any freaking saber that KR Sabers comes out with I want to get, but can only choose some of them. Thin necks, 100%. Gotta get on thin necks. That's just personal thing. God, I would love to get on his 2 new runs he's got going on, aside from the Leia Organa hilt he's making. I'm so excited for that one. You just stand it up like this. Hey, look at a little button, little greebly. I would love to get in on his crossguard run, but God bless, that's a good price too. Sidious. I can't do the Sidious. Can't do it. That has no appeal to me at all. One of the few hilts I can say that about. But the Leia Organa, I have to get that, and pre-ordered, and super excited. You know, it's July 22nd right now, and hopefully we'll have it by mid-September or something like that. Like, oh, so excited for that hilt. I got the Posh Store Princess hilt. $100, it's worth it, definitely. Leia Organa hilt from KR Sabers, you know, it's 3 times as much. Totally worth it, I'm willing to bet. Getting off track here, ain't I? Yeah. Must be the engineer in me. Yeah, this is a beautiful hilt. I do love how there is some difference in between the emitter and here. This is more of like a polished, like high polished, mirror polished finish, whereas this is more of like a brushed aluminum all down through here. You can probably see that even without additional light, but I love how KR Sabers pulled that off, and I'm pretty sure that's accurate. I don't know. I'm not a ginormous fan of clan sabers, but they are really cool. They're really nice. A lot of good accents going on here, and I love the greebles. Love the greeblies. It's quite functional too, if you think about it. Good grip right there. I mean, I feel like this would be more of a hand and a half, you know, going Anakin style. Anyways, I've yapped on long enough. Hope you enjoyed the saber. Until next time, may the force be with you always.